Prince Abdullah, in July of next year, Sheffield United have to acquire the assets, the ground, the training ground, and the other 2 or 3 assets. How will that be paid for?
I think it's too early to answer that question because first we didn't agree yet on a price for those real estate assets. But I can tell you now, I don't want to keep talking about relegation because we're not gonna get relegated. But you have also to assume the worst. I will handle it. I have no worries. I mean, I think that it's very important to me that the assets be joined with the club, and that will be done. I don't see any worries.
But how much is the future of the club and the money that you have almost dependent on Premier League survival then? If Sheffield United, worst case scenario, do get relegated, you're going to have to buy these assets. Does that come from you?
Yeah, of course. If we go, there's the only way that it has to come from me, and hopefully will not come to that. But if it comes to that, that's part of the risk you take. That's part of the responsibility you have, and I will fulfill that responsibility.
Are you right now actively seeking investment from somebody, another party?
No,
now?
I think I think the real work now starts to bring new sponsors, bigger sponsors. I think Sheffield United as a club is. I'm not worried about the technical side, but there are many other areas that we can improve. I think we being in the Premier League, we should have more revenues from other areas. We will work hard, and I think we will be successful. But because the more the club is financially stronger and the more it's independent, the better for the club future. So we will concentrate in that area.
During the court case, it was revealed that you'd look to try and bring in Deloitte to look at the business and look at the governance of the business, etc. Is that something you are still going to do?
I think now that we're on the club, and we'll take time to assess the situation, and if we need any help, we will bring it. But I like. I'm sure there is room for improvement, and we're gonna look at every area, everything we can improve in. I mean, of course, most fans will only measure success by the performance of the first team, but I think we as owners and as management, we have a responsibility to improve everything we do. We're gonna look hard at everything we do, and we're gonna do everything first class. And I think we have the people to do it.
So the basic question on that, and it is very basic, but will Chris get funds for January then?
Yeah, I mean, nobody costs me money more than Chris. My wife is here, but no, Chris still costs me more money.
I realise this is quite a big question, or an open-ended one, for which there's not necessarily a definitive answer today. But can you shed some light on what plans you might have for redevelopment of facilities then here?
I really think that Bramall Lane could be much better, and we're gonna, of course, we're gonna look at, as I said, I mean, we're gonna look not only Bramall Lane, the training, the academy, the training facilities, everything. I told Stephen a few months ago, I think we were in Los Angeles, that we want to do everything A1. I mean, if we have a legacy after we leave, because results in the field, that's Chris' responsibility, and it's actually, there is a lot of factors. You can't control everything. We can do everything very well. Chris can do everything very well, and the player will miss like 4 goals or 4 chances, and you lose a game. But what we can control is making everything better in this club, starting with the facilities. I think and there is a lot of area to improve there, but we'll have to take it one step at a time.
Prince Mosa'ad, fans will get to know you as time rolls on, but what's your background? You're going to be chairman of this football club.
So I come from a business background, and we want to have a better commercial function of the club, because we want the club to be sustainable, and our mission is for the club to stay in the Premier League and have a sustainable business function. So I'll be driving the commercial side and working alongside Chris and Steve.
And how much, along with Steve, is keeping the man sat next to you happy then, as a guy who's done so much for this football club?
That's true. Chris deserves the respect, and we respect him, and he's a great manager, as Prince Abdullah said, and I think so too. And we will just work to improve the first team and the club as a whole. And Chris is one of our own. He's the #1 Sheffield United fan, and we will all try the best to lift our club forwards and upwards.
Stephen, how Tim kind of alluded to this, but how nice is it to not be managing warring factions right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think warring factions maybe is a bit strong. You know, for me, it wasn't. As I said, both owners dealt with it very professionally to ensure that the effects of it on the day-to-day running the club didn't hurt us. And I think the last 3 years show that. I mean, we've had success on and off the field, importantly off the field as well, in terms of improving the facilities and improving the numbers so that we create a sustainable football club. But certainly having one owner gives you the ability to all be on the same page about the way of driving the club forward and improving it. And everything that I've spoken about with Prince Abdullah makes me very confident about the future for the football club. And yeah, business as usual and onwards and upwards, fingers crossed. Chris,
we've discussed this sort of in part in the past. I mean, how central to operations has Stephen been in the past couple of years? Because during the court case it was revealed that Kemba Cabe tried to get rid of him.
Well, there's all sorts of relationships, isn't it, in a football club? Relationships between manager and board, manager and chief exec, players, and etc. So, and I've got a fantastic, healthy working relationship with Steve, and it isn't always about Steve saying yes to me. There's many a time that I've pushed and pushed, and stuff that is rightly rejected at times. I think all managers will do, but so I've got a lot of respect for Steve and his background and how much he's attached to this football club, even though he's possibly not got the same history as the likes of myself and Billy. Doesn't mean that he's not working 100% full tilt to make this club a success, as is everybody is who we try and bring into the building, whether they're players, staff, or whatever. So, the proof's in the pudding in terms of, as Steve will say, the year where maybe he was not so much in focus. We finished 10th in the division. The year before we got 100 points, and the year afterwards we got promoted out the championship. So obviously Steve will be talking about his success at the football club individually, but I'm modest with it though. it's not how we work, and as I said, from all angles, there's been a lot of success on the pitch, but a lot as well off of it in terms of improving the experience of coming to Bramall Lane, the numbers that we attract home and away, and from, even though my remit is to improve the football side, I do take a great interest as well what's happening off of it as well, and Steve's been ahead of all the good stuff that's happened off the pitch.
Prince Abdullah, if I may just finish my bit with you, I mean, how disappointed are you that it's even got to a stage where it got to court and it was factions and you say and hearsay and all this kind of thing, that it even got to that stage?
Obviously, I don't think both of us wanted it to come that far. My part, I reached more than 4 times to Kevin to try to settle, and we couldn't reach a settlement. I even reached for him after when I knew about the verdict to try to find a dignified way for him to issue like a statement together, but we couldn't agree again. So I'm disappointed, but now it's the time to put that behind us. There is no sense of talking about the past. We'll always treat Kevin with respect. He's part of this club history, but we're looking forward to make the club bigger and better.
Thanks, gentlemen.